What's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know so. And we're here to see what we can do for the Steelers to make them look like a better team next year so they can be competitive, because I think this team does have a small window left where they can maybe make a Super Bowl run, at least a playoff run. So we're going to try to do that. So this is what I would do if I were in charge, not my opinion on what I think they will actually do. Make that clear. So go ahead, become a bro, subscribe, leave a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. Thumbs up is very important, so be sure to do that. It's always much appreciated. Much obliged. And yeah, man, let's start this out, because this was kind of tough, because the Steelers, they only got $2 million in cap space. There's some, they got a few guys we're gonna have to kiss goodbye just because they can't re-sign them with how much money they have. So it's kind of tough. They have limited picks. I think they only have 6 picks in the draft, and their first pick doesn't come till pick 49. And then they have that's their only pick, and like they only have 1 pick in the top 100. So it's kind of tough. So let's start with this $2 million in cap we have. I chose not to franchise or re-sign Bud Dupree. He's a 1-year wonder. That doesn't mean he's not going to be good somewhere else, or he would be good for us. It's just we can't. I refuse to put us in that hole. So we're going to release Marquise Pouncey, Mark Barron, who's been, Roman Foster, who's up there in age, and then Anthony Chiquillo, which I thought he got removed from the team anyway, because I thought he had something. Thought he got arrested or something, or he had some charge against him, but I guess he was still on the team. But we got rid of him because we needed the money. So now we're up to $19 million. I made one re-signing, and that was Matt Flair, he's been pretty good at right tackle. I don't know why people hate on him. He's been pretty solid. 5 years, $30 million for our right tackle. Because, like I said, we're trying to keep this team competitive. Keep this team, maybe make one more Super Bowl run for Big Ben. They have the playmakers to do so. So we just got to keep the offensive line looking somewhat good, somewhat decent, and maybe add a few pieces on the defense through the draft. So yeah, I re-signed him. Let's go to the free agent signings, because we couldn't spend a lot of money, so I did what I could. Joe Higg, I probably mispronounced that last name, but he's a backup for the Colts, and he's been pretty solid when needed to come in. So 2 years, $4 million. He's going to be filling in at that left guard spot. And then we got Correa. He was drafted by, I think he was drafted by the Ravens. And then he had a big late season run for the Titans. So 3 years, $14 million. Kind of fill in for what we lost with Bud Dupree. So that leaves us with $7 million. Not a lot of money, man. They don't have a lot of money. They can't make a lot of moves. I really hate teams that are this tight on cap, because it's just so hard to predict what they can do. They have to restructure a lot of contracts. It's just a mess. So let's go ahead. Let's see what we can do in the draft. I ended up going with Josh Uche with their first pick. It gets them another a guy who I thought was much better in coverage than Zach Bond, who is actually converted into an off-ball linebacker. So this gives us a guy who we got Devin Bush, who's pretty good in coverage. He was really good in man-to-man coverage. And then Josh Uche, who can rush the passer from the edge, and he could also step back in coverage for the most part. So I didn't mind picking him there. We got Lloyd Cushenberry in the 3rd round to replace Pouncey. So those are two kind of immediate starters. I ended up picking up Anthony Gordon in the 4th, because I was like, they need to get a quarterback, because Mason Rudolph, he ain't it. The Duck ain't it. So bringing in Uncle Rico part 2, maybe. I mean, he's not as good as a decision maker as Uncle Rico, But I wouldn't mind bringing in a guy maybe to develop. Kenny Willix was there also in the 4th round. He's kind of a Steeler-like guy. He's just a good football player. Bravion Roy, because we did have to, like, we couldn't re-sign Hargrave because he would cost too much. We got Dan McCullers there, but I don't mind trying to bring in another guy to develop. And then Cheyenne O'Grady taking a shot, just taking a shot. This guy's probably going to fall down boards because of all the character red flags, but let's just take a shot on tight end just because Vance McDonald. Benefit of the doubt to Vance McDonald. He wasn't in the best of circumstances last year with Big Ben getting hurt so early. So, you know what? It's not bad value there near the end of the draft in general. So let's take a look at what the offensive starters will be. Ben Roethlisberger, of course. Then we got James Conner, who I think will be better this year. And then Benny Snells is there as well, was pretty decent. Juju, you got Deontay Johnson, James Washington. Those are all solid. I mean, Johnson and Juju, they can rotate in the slot. Washington gives you a big outside receiver. Vance McDonald back. So Big Ben has all the playmakers. Offensive line may not look the best, but I don't think it's it might take it's maybe a step down, but it's not too big of a step down. I mean, you still got quality guys there like Castro and Alejandro, Matt Fleer, like I said. Cushionberry, granted, he is the rookie, but no lie, if anything, this guy plays the Steeler way. He plays with tremendous strength. He's just a kind of an old school type of center, if that makes sense. He doesn't have the quickest feet, but he will get the job done. And then defense, I think the defense looks fine. You know, Tuitt's coming back from injury. Hayward, McCullers, he has proved in limited time he ain't half bad. And then Bravion Roy, we're kind of grooming. And then TJ Watt's back. We got Correa, Uchi, who also can come off the edge. So got him there. Really, it's just Devin Bush back there as far as our coverage linebackers. So they might opt to maybe go into a lot of sub packages where they bring more secondary on there, because their secondary is freaking amazing. They got Joe Hayden, Steve Nelson are the starters. Couldn't re-sign Mike Hilton, but that's all right. Because they have Cameron Sutton. They have, who did they draft? Justin Lane, who actually played really well in limited time there. So I think they could go in a ton of sub packages. And then you got Fitzpatrick, you got Terrell Emmons. So I think this team can be competitive. I think they can definitely, I don't know if they'll be good enough to compete with the Ravens, but I think they can, especially with a healthy Big Ben. I certainly think they can definitely win that AFC North, but that's just my opinion. And that's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing. Always much appreciated, much obliged, and go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. I already said that, but just do it. But until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.